Thank God it's Friday, and that is what you hear on a day like this. Today, Friday, 22nd day in the month of August. And of course, this is the last edition of Morning Spring for this week. Thank you for being with us all week. Femi Ojo is my name, and this is Morning Spring O'Clock, where we talk about everything that has to do with the public good, the Nigerian people and the Nigerian state, issues in the polity, socio-political issues, and of course, in as much as it is important, if it is worth talking about, if it is worth hearing about, this is where, this kind of conversation happens. You are welcome again. And we look at headlines for major dailies every day, and then we get talking, identifying issues, speaking to critical stakeholders, profiling solutions, suggestions to these issues. That's why we are here. This is our nation. This is our country, and it must work. I bring you great tidings that you cannot refuse. Good morning. Good morning, Daniel.
Yeah, good morning, Femi.
Yeah, it's Friday again.
Absolutely.
It's that time of the week
Friday.
where we talk about Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, after a long week, on Fridays, you just, mentally, there's a way you kind of feel relieved, when it's Friday.
Yeah.
Because when you've been doing a lot of, thinking and intellectual work, on Fridays, you get to, just relax a little
simmer
bit.
down a
Exactly.
bit.
Yeah.
A bit.
Exactly. So the brain,
For some people,
cools down. Yeah, absolutely.
For some, the weekend is always a big time for them. For people in the event business.
Yeah.
They can't simmer down on Friday.
Oh,
you don't dare do that.
The business is just starting.
I'm telling
on
you,
Friday.
you just, in as much you have collected mobilization fund, you must turn up. And talking about event is a big business these days. And people are even taking it to some level in which you think, waiting. But then it's about choice.
Absolutely. Yeah, good morning. Good morning to you, our distinguished viewers from all over the world. Thank you once again for joining us on Morning Spring. This is Western Spring Television. Emeka Daniel is my name. It gives me great pleasure always to welcome you to the program. And of course, it also gives me pleasure knowing that, you've been here joining us from the beginning of the week since Monday, and today is Friday. Thank you once again. We do not take you for granted, because without you, we won't be here. So we sincerely appreciate your patronage, always joining us. And again, welcome once again to the program. It's Friday. It promises to be a great weekend. I can feel it already. And whatever you're doing, whether you're having fun, whether you're working, whether you're lounging, whether you're traveling, whatever it is, just be safe and play safe. This is Nigeria, our country. We love Nigeria. We'll keep talking about Nigeria. Like I always say, no matter the challenges we might be facing in Nigeria, Nigeria remains a great country. Nigeria is a great nation, and Nigeria will move forward. Emeka Daniel is my name, a.k.a. Dan Ziggy. Thank you once again for joining us this morning.
All right, sir. Something came up yesterday in which I feel maybe we should talk about. Not just yesterday. It's something that has happened, and I'm not proud of you people, the men. I'm not proud of you people.
Really?
As of now, I'll tell you why.
So now you're a woman, right?
Hold on. You men. You're kind of men. What I mean is, like last 3 weeks, it was the turn of the Super Falcons, right? They soared and they flew and they were conquerors, 10-time champions.
Oh, you want to talk about the D-Tigers?
Hold on. the Mission X, they set it out and they accomplished it. 10-time champions of Africa. And of course, the dollar reigned. It was the raining of dollars, $100,000 with like G's. In fact, some of them are still getting gifts from different bodies, state governments, and all of those things. It's like a week after, it was the turn of the Tigress, of course, the Tigers. The Tigress, rather, they did all they could do, and of course, they routed, they conquered Africa. The ladies again, 100,000, on the tree, they say 100,000 pa. So 100,000 pa box. All right, for them and all of those things as well. And then it was the turn of the Chan Eagles, the Ombase Eagles, and they didn't do well. In fact, they were flocked everywhere. I think they only won one game or thereabout. And, many persons will say, you don't need any motivation at all, even within or without. All you need is that trip to the villa you know, and a chance to edge your name in the history. Once you can edge your name in that history, you're on your way to the villa. Nobody goes to the villa and come back with a handshake, at least under this dispensation. And it was a failure for them. And you know what they say about failure is an orphan. Nobody wants to recognize. You see, no talk, nothing.
Well,
in fact, some people have to be checking to say, is Nigeria still in the competition? And then you saw that they were walloped by Senegal in 91 or 99 to 70 something. I mean, the Chan Eagles, they didn't do well at all. From the group stages, in fact, they didn't qualify to the other part. They were flogged home and abroad, as far as that competition is concerned.
Yeah.
And then the D Tigers, because they were champions as well at some point, and then at the semi-final against the Senegal, they fell. That was the T Tigers, and so that was it for them. So what am I going to say? 2 competitions, as far as the ladies are concerned, they won. You know, the 2 competitions as well that the men played after the ladies, you people failed. What's going on? Is it that you people don't like $100,000?
You know what, Femi? Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I want you to see the good side. I want to see the good part of it.
Tell me the good part.
Here's the point. The Super Falcons won, okay? And the D Tigers also won. You know, sometimes, Femi, in life, you know, sometimes we need to, you know, ladies keep complaining that they are being marginalized. I've always tried to debunk, you know, that fact that ladies are not being marginalized.
Your point exactly.
So sometimes, my point is sometimes, Femi, let's just allow them shine, you know. Sometimes it's just to let them shine so that, you know, we don't spoil their glory. Just let them shine for now. So exactly.
So that
it's not as if the men cannot do it.
They can fail.
No.
Or the men should
it's not as if the
shine.
men cannot do it, but we just said, no, this time around, just let them shine. Just, you know, let them enjoy, you know. Let them bask. Let them bask in the euphoria of that victory.
They have been basking. The competition is not at the same time.
We don't want to spoil it, so let's leave them alone. So
all right.
once,
so
we're just
those men,
big brother here.
they should keep failing. The women should keep shining. One thing is,
no, just for now.
We're having a conversation yesterday, and I told those that were there that, do you know that some of the family members of these guys that failed, they'll be cursing them right now to say, do you know what you people have done to us? Because if you are having your 100,000 pa like this, they know the kind of messages they will have sent to you people. Houses somewhere, and in fact, many believe for the home base Eagles, maybe it wasn't going to be $100,000 because they were home base Eagles, not the Team A Super Eagles. But for the D Tigers, in fact, many persons believed that gift might be upped because you're talking about the men, the senior member team, and you know, but you know, not just to say women are failures or men are failure. I'm just saying, is a reality of life. Exactly. You see how everybody wants to identify with the ladies when they want.
Absolutely.
Now, in fact, you have to be Googling to see what are the names of these.
I guess
you won't get anybody. In fact, most of them will have returned.
Yeah. I guess the men just had a meeting. Yeah, I guess the men had a meeting and say, you know what, let's just allow this lady.
I don't know about that meeting that you people had. But what I'm saying is, in whatever you do in life, please win.
Exactly.
Win. By all means necessary, legal means necessary. Win, so that your name, in fact, someone will be saying, what are the names of the list? Let me check, because nobody sees them at this time. But then they fell. Now we hope they will rise.
Yeah, but another critical thing for me, you know, about life is when you win, okay, everyone is there for you.
That's it. That's exactly my point. That's what I said.
So
failures are not fun.
More important for me is your situation when you are not winning.
Yeah.
Okay. When people are not winning, that's when they need people the most. I mean, winners, you can always have everyone rooting for you when you're winning. But it is when you're not winning, that is when you truly know those who care about you. Okay, so that those men too, let's show them love. Like I said, perhaps, you know, they just wanted to, you know, there's an African proverb that says, you know, when you're playing with a child, sometimes you let the child win. So perhaps they just said, no, let's let the ladies win this time.
That could have survived. So let's show them love too. Yeah, we show them. Everybody. In fact, if you are watching us right now, guys, of course, the next best time is now. Keep preparing.
Exactly.
So that by the next time, you will know.
So to the men, we believe in you.
Well.
Yes, we believe in you. I mean, don't give up. Just get up. You can do it again. Fine, you just let the ladies shine for now, but you know, next time you show them. You show them what you're doing.
That issue of allowing the ladies to shine is when actually, if the ladies were their direct competitors, if actually they were playing with ladies and say, let's go. Everybody had their moment. But the main point is this: possibly you've not gotten it right today. You will get it right
Absolutely.
Tomorrow. And people will still celebrate. And not just for people in sport. Everybody watching us today, Perhaps you didn't get that contract. Perhaps you couldn't finish that work yesterday. Perhaps you couldn't finish that dress as a tailor, finish that building as an artisan, and all of those things. Give it your best today so that you will shine. And one day, the whole world will get to see you. This is Morning Spring Up. Possibly, the best motivator is always one's self. Even the Holy Book says, at a time of the huge desperation, that even the men of David wanted to stone him. So David encouraged himself in the Lord. Of course, that is the first, you are your first motivator. Many things to really talk about today. But first, we look into the papers on Morning Spring O'Clock. We are live on our YouTube channel, hear me, at Western Spring Television NG. Western Spring Television NG. Stay with us. All right, thank you for staying with us. Let's give to you and show you what the front pages of Nigerian dailies look like. Today we start with the Daily Times. Daily Times. ASU rejects 150,000 naira monthly pension for retired lecturers may go on strike. ASU rejects 150,000 naira monthly pension for retired lecturers may go on strike. Oh, why will that be? You need to check page 5 of this paper, for you to have a detail of that. Now, the gridlock on the Gwagwalada axis of the Abuja-Lokoja highway is still gridlocking. The way they say on the social media, this is a standstill. We hope it has eased or it will ease up. Below that, Nigeria is set to achieve 2.5 million barrels daily by 2026. 2.5 million barrels daily by 2026. And UPRC, right. We wish you the best, because if it works, everybody gets, to be the better of it. Return home. Nigeria is rising again. Tinubu urges diaspora Nigerians. Interesting. Return home. Nigeria is rising again. Tinubu urges diaspora Nigerians. You're giggling.
Yeah, I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold my laughter because let's face the reality. Nigeria is in a state, as far as I know, since I was young, since I was born, Nigeria has never been this tough before in terms of economy. That's the truth. I've never seen the Naira so weak as this. Look at our debt. Look at the state. What was the purchasing power of the Naira right now?
Right.
So Nigeria, I've never seen Nigeria in a worse state than we are now. That's why I laughed. So let's just face reality. The economy is not doing fine.
Well, the president is saying Nigeria is rising, not as reason.
That is one man. Yeah, that's one man. But
not just one man.
Nigeria is rising, okay, because he's Mr. President. The federal government is making money. Okay, the states are getting more money, but it's not trickling down. That's the point. Mr. President has all the money. He's giving out $100,000 to the Super Falcons, to the Tigers. So Mr. President has money. The people in his circle, they have money. But does the average Nigerian have money? The average Nigerian on the streets is hungry. Nigerians are suffering. It seems as though Mr. President is not in touch with reality. That's a fact. Of course, PBAS doesn't go to the market. Mr. President doesn't go to the market. Okay, perhaps he doesn't know what's happening on the streets. Yes, Nigeria might be better for him, but not for the average Nigerian. That's why I was laughing, because at this point, it's really terrible. Nigerians
Mr. President urging Nigerians in diaspora to return home, that Nigeria is rising. The question many persons want to ask Mr. President, or that needs to be asked, what are those indices that are showing that Nigeria is rising?
No, on paper there might be indices.
No, I'm not even talking about paper. You talked about this development trickling down.
Exactly.
The last person, and that's the same question. Not progress that can be explained. That needs to be explained. No. The ones that people can tell you. This is where we were 5 years ago. okay, this is the policy and direction of the government when this man came in 2 years ago. So where are we right now? And I think that's the issue. But then you said he's a man. Yes, he's a man, but he's the chief market of Nigeria.
Yeah.
But then beyond the rhetorics,
Exactly.
because those people you are urging to come home, they have people at home as well that are fielding them questions. I mean, that are feeding them the information going on. They can read as well. You don't even need to be in Nigeria or have somebody in Nigeria for them to tell you, as we are reading right now, many persons still have access to it.
Absolutely.
Even in Papua New Guinea, very far. You know, these are
some of them may not understand
well.
what we are really feeling unless we tell them. The fact remains that just 5 years ago, yes, just 5 years ago, the state of Nigeria was not in this kind of state. You understand? So as at 5 years ago, if you
5 years ago, the president has said, you people are living a fake life.
If you left the country, you feel like, no, there is nothing. Let's come back to Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria. But now, if you leave the country now, you might want to think twice before coming back.
Well, Nigeria will rise. Now, illegal mining. Nigeria loses $9 billion annually to cartel enterprises. $9 billion annually to cartel enterprises. FCTCP, right? An FRSC called Michelle rewards personnel with 250,000 naira for rejecting bribe. Hey, there's an incentive there. Below that, Finance Ministry under fire for breaching budget disclosure law. Finance Ministry under fire for breaching budget disclosure law. All right, and top strip, you have these headline: Federal government repatriates 51 more foreign nationals jailed for cyber terrorism and internet fraud. Federal government FG repatriates 51 more foreign nationals jailed for cyber terrorism and internet fraud. Let them go back to their country. You know, we have a lot to deal with on our hands already. But then, so many questions needs to be asked. These is what the front page of the Daily Times looks like on this day.
All right, and from the Daily Times newspaper, we'll move straight to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. On the Daily Trust this morning, Katsina mosque attack. Search continues as over 50 bodies recovered. Katsina mosque attack. Search continues as over 50 bodies recovered. With the rider, renewed hostilities disturbing. That's coming from the Chief of Defense Staff. Still talking about the Katsina mosque attack. Quite unfortunately, the death toll seems to be rising from 13 initially reported to 32 thereabout. Now we have 50 bodies recovered already, and they are still searching. That's quite unfortunate. May God grant the families of those who lost their loved ones fortitude to bear the irreparable loss at this time. Away from that, 2027, microzoning battle splits Southern PDP leaders. 2027, microzoning battle splits Southern PDP leaders. You can read up that story on page 11, talking about politics and, battle for 2027. The PDP, the People's Democratic Party, they are having some crisis in their ranks, some disagreements over their convention. Someone like Wike is saying he's not aware, they're not in support. So there's this big, battle between Makinde camp and Wike camp. So let's see how that plays out. Away from that, despite meeting OPEC quota, price drop threatens Nigeria's capital project. Despite meeting OPEC quota, price drop threatens Nigeria's capital project. You can read up that story on page 21, talking about price of crude. Of course, Nigeria is doing, according to reports, that we are doing well. We are meeting OPEC quota in terms of production, but the price has dropped globally. Yesterday, I was looking at a report monitoring the prices, of Brent crude and WTI, that's West Texas Intermediate, from April to August. The price has dropped globally, and for a country like Nigeria, we are reliant on revenue from crude. It might affect our fiscal policies and, of course, projects, and that's a concern. And that's what this report is talking about here as well, because when demand increases, when supply rather increases, definitely prices will fall. And that is what is happening now. Supply has increased, so price is falling, which is affecting Nigeria's fiscal policies, fiscal capital project as well. You might want to read up that story on page 21 of the Daily Trust this morning. Away from that, government deports 102 Chinese nationals, others over cybercrime. Government deports 102 Chinese nationals, others over cybercrime. Still on the front page of the Daily Trust this morning, amidst criticisms, RMAFC begins public officers' pay review. Amidst criticisms, Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission begins public officers' pay review. We mentioned this on, was not yesterday, yes, how insensitive it is for the RMAFC to be considering, increasing the remuneration of public officers. But it seems as though they are planning to move forward with that plan. Away from that, on the bottom strip, Nigeria's forex reserves rise to $41 billion. Nigeria's forex reserve rise to $41 billion. You find the story on page 24. FCT community residents vacate homes over erosion. FCT community residents vacate homes over erosion. You find the story on page 20. And finally, from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, man allegedly flogs son to death. Man allegedly flogs son to death. How possible is that? Quite unfortunate. Flogging your son to death? All right. I hope he has finally achieved his goal now. He has corrected the child.
Well, I'm not sure that would be the goal of any parent.
Yeah.
It can't be the goal. To kill? No, not sure, except somebody under the influence of some substances. But then maybe that's anger taken too far, actually. Unwatched anger, because, it's just unfortunate. Either way, whatever way you look at it, there should be a limit.
Yeah.
That's when when you talk about intentional parenting, they will tell you, when you know that you are very angry, tone it down. Don't take any action. Even as a human being, not as a parent.
Absolutely.
When you know you're in the heat of the moment.
Exactly. Just refrain from taking any action at that moment.
Calm down. Even when it looks like you have lost that battle or the other person is having a go at you, just calm down, because it just take a moment to have everlasting regret.
Absolutely.
Unchecked moment to have an everlasting regret. Now, that will be the fate of that parent right now.
Yeah.
Will people come and mourn with you? Would they say, okay, you have killed it? Regret and severance. That would be an eternal thing for that person. Eternal.
And again, in this case, before the son died, he didn't just die suddenly. He must have been, yelling, showing signs that is, how can the man be so insensitive? I mean, when you're flogging someone, you should know that this person is not okay. Perhaps, perhaps he thinks maybe the child is pretending. The child perhaps might have fainted initially. Well, he won't just die suddenly.
There's something about corporal punishment, actually, especially the ones that were meted out to children in the past, because they think if they hurt you, there's a way it will be in your memory. And that thing that you have been corrected about, you will always know that, oh, I don't want to be hurt this way, so don't let me do this. And some of them do it out of a place of, like, that's the best they know how to treat a parent. Especially, there are difficult children as well, difficult human beings, by the way, but then there should be a limit. That's why we're educated. That is why we're enlightened.
And sometimes parents too try to take out their anger and frustration.
Yeah, the frustration and everything. It's like everything has not worked during the day. You're frustrated and you get home and the child behaves like a child, didn't do something, and then you lash out and all of those things. Do you know, apart from a parent, these unfortunate incidents, even in the moment of anger, especially those that are given out to hitting themselves physically, unfortunately, sometimes if misfortune will happen, God forbid, as we say around here, what it takes is not to slap somebody who is not fine. What you need to do is just to shove and say, do you know when people say, do you know who I am?
Exactly.
I will show you. And they pull their shirt, and the first blow you give the person, hit the wrong nerve, and the person falls, hit the head on the wall, and that's all. And you'll be saying, no, I didn't use, people say, You have used juju? Show me your hands. If you Urokagba, you know, the ring and all of those things, you say, oh, no, you will not go. All in the moment of anger. We should not just watch it. This is an unfortunate thing. And an eternal regret. The thing is, I'm not sure if any government will want to recognize that because you are the parent, then they will leave you alone. No, that's a problem.
He will still be prosecuted.
The child has died. You still be prosecuted. Obviously, the family is scattered just because somebody is angry.
Quite unfortunate. And on that sad note, that will be all from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
Well, this is not us judging whoever has done this, but, well, if we can, why can't we tell ourselves to be very, very careful and watch it? Now, let's go to the Punch for this morning. The Punch newspaper. CDS 2027 polls behind surge in killings. Chief of Defense Staff. You know, when you say CDS, I'm sure to call members, it means something else.
Something else, yeah. Community Development Service.
I'm telling you. Now, Chief of Defense Staff, 2027 polls behind surge in killings. There was on a program yesterday, and I saw some of what is talked about. Now, there are two riders to this headline. Steady flow of foreign cash empowering terrorists. Steady flow of foreign cash empowering terrorists. Musa. And Nigeria facing growing security risk from Sahel conflict. Defense Chief. Nigeria facing growing security risk from Sahel conflict. You know, one of the writers that says steady flow of foreign cash empowering terrorists, attributed to the defense chief, Christopher Musa. Now, Nigerians will easily cast their mind because you're talking about foreign cash empowering terrorists. There was a time under Muhammadu Buhari, remember, that the UAE, issued a list and said these are terror financiers. I remember the former Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, was asked over and over. He said, we will disclose it in due time. Oh, we are working on it. We will disclose it. Don't worry, we will disclose it. Till they left office, it wasn't disclosed. Yeah. And so this is not new. We can't pretend that, who are they? Who are the ones? We have always known. We don't have to be part of the SSS to know that information available in the public space said from the UAE, they gave us a list. Make them known. Prosecute them. Name and shame. That is when we can show that we are serious as a country. Absolutely. Till now, if Alhaji Lai Mohammed, of course, Muhammadu Buhari can watch us again. But the people that were in that government, they will know if there is any problem we are facing, they were part of that.
Yeah, and one thing that comes to mind when you mention the name of Alhaji Lai Mohammed, you should know that his reputation was very low. His name was, recoined in Nigeria as Lai Mohammed. That was the kind of reputation he had. So a lot of Nigerians didn't really trust
I'm sure
him.
Many persons in government, especially in the past, and those that are there now, should bury their head in shame that they are part of this problem. Either those people are their cronies, or they feel they're untouchable, or they feel, it doesn't matter, or UAE is lying. Here we are. Yeah. The CDS has said it again, and I'm not sure this is a new information to know that foreign cash, where is it coming from?
Absolutely.
Is it by cash?
Someone like Dr. Kachonunju always says that Buhari's government plunged Nigeria into this mess, into a terrible mess. That it failed woefully, and it is what it is.
Well, now that the CDS has said it, I'm sure it will not just be a disclosure. They should have a way. Apart from prosecution, we should have an habit of naming and shaming. Actually, let people know this. And I think Lagos is doing that with sex offenders and, domestic violators and all of those things. They have a blacklist that the moment you are taken to court and the court, confirms that, yes, you're a criminal, there is a public book, even online, that people can check these are the names of violators. And until we begin to do that, so that everybody will know. But the question is, do we have the will? People in places of power, do they have that steel, that greed? Because this might be their friends, this might be their cronies. Absolutely. Who knows? Maybe one of them might even be their sponsors. And these are sensitive things.
We've had cases of governors
but then we
accused of sponsoring terrorists and
we have seen governors or former governors taking pictures with repentant bandits, holding Kalashnikov. Even in that picture, it has happened before, and it shows. And the rest of the world, even some of us there, will look at this country and people running it to say, are we serious? Are we? The chief of defense staff now is talking about illicit, steady flow of foreign cash. Well, is it $1?
What are they doing about
it $1?
What
All
are they
right.
doing about it? We've had cases of choppers delivering cash to terrorists
Interesting
in
one
Nigeria.
there.
What has been done about it?
Below that, EFCC NRS expel another 51 foreigners jailed for cyber fraud offenses. Now, these persons that are being repatriated and that they are involved in, these cyber fraud issues, offenses right now, who are their target? I hope they didn't come from their country to come and be defrauding Nigerians.
Some Nigerians. No,
You left your country to come. Some of our people who are, scrupulous, when I mean our people, maybe some of the Nigerians, some of them stay here to do that to some of those people over. So, but these ones left their country, come here to come and do what?
Maybe they are using this place as a safe haven because they feel, it's a little bit
It's good that the
here.
court has done what it should do. Get back to your country and go and live. We have enough on our hands already. And the fact that, they can easily go around with things here. You know how people penchant for seeing white skin and white color. We just think they are superior and they are more truthful and they are more skilled. And
that's what some people think.
Doesn't have to. That's the thing. You just think, even when some of those contractors, some of those supervisors on road contracts, but some of them are just maybe diploma holders and they are the ones that are supervisors. Why some of your engineers that have current certifications are the one working under them?
Don't even have it.
All right, we should do better. Go back to your country and do whatever you want to do here, and let's handle our own issues. Now, external reserves climbed to 44-month high of $41 billion. All right, let's keep it steady. 3 US-based Nigerians jailed for 8 years. Jailed 8 years for $520,000 fraud. Still on the Punch. Front page, low strip in red, bottom strip, 3 US-based Nigerians jailed 8 years for $520,000 fraud. No, that's a no. You don't have to do that. They don't have to be involved in fraud at all. And this is giving the country and their families a very terrible name. Now, next to that, Oyo to pay 1 billion naira compensation on circular road project. Oyo to pay 1 billion naira compensation on circular road project. And top strip, UK leads Nigeria's Q1 capital inflow with 5.5 trillion naira. UK leads Nigeria's Q1, that's Q1 capital flow with 5.5 trillion naira. That's a good commercial friend there. And PDP crisis, Wike camp reject zoning talks with Makinde and Diri. PDP crisis, Wike camp reject zoning talks with Makinde and Diri. With the rider, PDP governance convening Zamfara to resolve convention deadlock party crisis. PDP governance convening Zamfara to resolve convention deadlock party crisis. Very interesting picture is that of Minister Wike put here. You could see the tone and the countenance of the man there. But then this is, a furtherance of the troubles and the disarray of the opposition, especially that of the PDP, that for them to even have a convention, they still have to be meeting to settle agreed about a convention. And one we easily ask and say, is there anything that PDP can even do right, actually? Can they take a decision, the decision will fly without having to confer and having to talk, somebody having to settle somebody have to, just a convention.
The party is seriously fractured.
That's a party that wants to rule the nation.
Yeah, the party is seriously fractured.
Yeah,
some people have said that the PDP has an incurable cancer. That's according to some politicians.
And in the words of Minister Wike, he said, at a time, PDP was the headache, that APC was the cancer.
Oh, really?
Now he's the one working with the cancerous government, and maybe the cancer has been transferred. It's a malignant one, transferred to the PDP, right? Because you wonder, you can't be talking about 2027 and just a convention you can't hold.
Your house is not in order.
In 2025, August. Anyway, before that, you have this corner. UK recognizes Alaafin as Yoruba supreme ruler, or what it tells Oni. All right. The battle royale continues. There was a release.
You're taking it to the UK?
Release yesterday, and in that release, it was a furtherance of the proof, the historical proof of how the Alaafin has been recognized. And, but it was less, I saw that release yesterday, it was less confrontational like the previous one. That was very confrontational and was even daring, the consequences that was issued. The ultimatum. But this one is just to say, we are, or your Alaafin is the empire that is recognized as the most supreme especially in Yoruba land. UK recognizes Alaafin as Yoruba supreme ruler for Wade tells Oni. So that's the narrative from,
So now he has gotten international endorsement, right?
Not like he has gotten it, like he traveled back to history to say the UK.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Have always recognized, and they being the colonial masters, they have always dealt with their Alaafin as being in charge, the king, the known king, in Yoruba land. But I'm sure they will resolve it. Just like I guess said yesterday, elders are intervening on the matter already. But the issue of supremacy is not new, and I'm not sure it's going to stop now. That'll be all from the Punch newspaper.
And from the Punch newspaper this morning, we move to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. On the Nigerian Tribune this morning, PDP crisis, marking the talks tough. PDP crisis, marking the talks tough with riders. When people go low or go into the gutters, I don't go with them, he says. Expresses readiness to reach out to the aggrieved. As Southern leaders kick disown Lagos zoning meeting. Party not dead will offer better option in 2027, say Governor Diri. Others. NEC meets on Monday to adopt zoning committee report. You'll find all that story on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, talking about the PDP and Makinde. That's Governor Shane Makinde talking tough right there. Well, if he says some people, when some people go down to the gutters, he's not going with them, who is he talking about? Is he referring to his good friend, his good old friend Yesom Wike? Perhaps you might want to find out those who have gone, to the gutters at this time. Away from that, moving to the top strip of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Nigeria's FX reserves hit $41 billion, highest since 2021. Congratulations. Away from that, every Nigerian should learn combat skills for self-defense. Chief of Defense Staff, I totally agree with this one. Every Nigerian should learn combat skills, yes.
To defend
for
themselves.
Self-defense, yes. Coming from the CDS. Yeah, this is basic actually. Nigerians should learn combat skills. Yeah, we did it. But when you have combat skills and someone is holding a rifle, and all I can do is...
If you are combatant enough, a Kalashnikov facing you should not really be an issue. Have you seen Jet Li films?
Yeah, Femi, here's the point. If you are holding the gun and you're unfortunate to be very close, if the person, not you. So if the person is unfortunate to be very close to me, but when you're at a distance, there's nothing. But if you are close to me, of course, I can employ my combat skills
to disarm the person with a heavy Kalashnikov.
It doesn't matter.
I wish you all the best. Please be.
Yeah, that's the CDS and advising Nigerians there. Just go learn combat skills so that when terrorists come, you just...
Yee-hoo! Interesting.
All right. This is quite interesting. Away from that, still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Why I won't be in supremacy battle with any Oba. That's coming from the Alaafin. Why I won't be in supremacy battle with any Oba. Oba in Nigeria means king. That's coming from the Alaafin of Oyo. You find a story on page 22. Below that, woman mistaken for kidnapper in Kwara killed in jungle justice.
Lord have mercy.
Now, this is quite unfortunate. I keep talking about this. Jungle justice. Here's a woman mistaken identity, and was killed. So how will can they bring her back now? Quite unfortunate. I keep saying no matter what someone does, the solution is not to kill the person on the spot. No. Even if someone has done something, it's even when you kill the person, you've not gotten justice.
I think the society doesn't care about that. But for me, this is very unfortunate. Do you know why? It's a show of systemic failure.
Absolutely.
Because the people have, settled to think if this person is taken to the police station, you might not know what will end it. And the wheel of justice grinds very slowly. And so they'll feel to serve as deterrent to others, let's do this at this time. And most of the time it's come from a mob action.
Exactly.
It's only the mob that, you can't do that, I'm sure. I can't do that.
Not.
I don't have that time for that. And even if you are there, with what you know, you rather call the police and say something is happening.
Yeah,
here. But the mob doesn't care. The people doesn't care because many of those people have suffered some indignation. They've suffered some loss. They've suffered the act of kidnapping in which they've had to pay through their noses. And because they are in pains, actually, whenever, imagine somebody that have his, relatives kidnapped before and they're taking ransom. I'm telling you, people can bear as witness. Nobody wants to be in that situation. Especially you don't even want to be in the den they kidnapped. Now, you don't want to be a family member of those because that is a traumatic experience.
Absolutely.
Whenever they put a call across, when you listen to experiences of people, they will intentionally be hitting those people at that side so that their pain can get to you and you do whatever you're asked to do. People go to the extent to borrow monies from enemies. Wherever they can get money, they disperse, they sell, they do whatever just to get up. And you know, some of these criminals are so devilish that they will even take the ransom, kill the fellow. Some of their bodies will not be found. So that pain that you think the society has failed you. Now imagine somebody being said, this is a kidnapper. The pain is there. But if actually you trust the system enough, all you have to do is call the police because you know justice will be served. But the system has broken. They don't trust the system, so they would rather say, let's serve justice on our own, which is illegal, which stands condemned, and now it has happened to the wrong person. And in Nigeria, may I add that you have to really, by whatever name of the God you serve, you have to really be prayerful that somebody will not point you in the wrong place, either intentionally or not intentionally, because if you are not lucky, your head might be gone, your skin might be burnt before somebody will say, Rara, unko.
It has happened several times. For me, I grew up in Lagos. You know, it's quite unfortunate
that someone, Lagos is notorious
someone will just say, ole, ole, which is thief. And before you know it, there's more action.
That's all.
So that's all it takes. So like you said, just be prayerful that a madman does not identify you wrongly.
But we will keep educating our people just like we are doing now. Jungle justice serves zero use.
Absolutely.
Zero use. Because if you are the one pointing people today, somebody might point your son. You remember the story of the Alu 4 in Port Harcourt?
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
I mean, that story.
If you come, anytime you come across that story on YouTube, you know this is terrible. Just because some people went somewhere and the narrative was spun.
Exactly.
And you could say what happened. It stands condemned. It has
4
no
young
place.
men killed. I can never forget that.
Jungle justice has no place in our society. It stands condemned. It has happened again in Kwara. You don't know where we'll be next. Let's just be safe and let the system and the people running it improve and show that they are working so that people might trust the system.
Absolutely. Quite unfortunate. Away from that, still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Or your government approves 1 billion naira compensation for circular road project, disburses 600 million naira. Or your government approves 1 billion naira compensation for circular road project, disburses 600 million naira. You'll find a story on page 3. And below that, under the health section, we have vegetarian diets can slash cancer risk by up to 45%, study finds. You'll find that on page 3. So you might want to start going vegetarian just to live a healthier life. You know, some people always preach that. I remember there was a day I visited this university in Nigeria. I think it's Babcock. I went there to do some business. Then I walked into their cafeteria to have lunch. So I now realized that they don't serve meat or fish. I was surprised. I said, no, that's they don't serve meat.
Babcock is being by the Adventist Church.
Exactly. So I was really surprised. I mean, it was a shock. That was the first time I experienced that in any Nigerian restaurant. Yeah. I said no fish, no meat. I was like, wow, this is this is something else. So for you to reduce the risk of cancer by 45%, they are saying you should go vegetarian. Away from that, still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. We will get our local governments back. That's coming from Adeleke. We will get our local governments back. Adeleke, with a rider, rallies PDP members for 2026 election. You'll find a story on page 4. ASU threatens fresh strike, rejects FG's loan scheme. You find a story on page 3, and there's a rider below that. mobilizes members for rallies across universities next week. Now, that's talking about ASU, threatening to go on strike, rejecting the federal government's loan scheme. According to them, the loan doesn't really make any logical sense. I heard one of their members, a professor, speaking on your show the other day, and saying it doesn't really make sense. That as an associate professor, that is entitled to only 7.5 million naira, and that can't even buy a used car in Nigeria right now. So they intend to go on strike. Quite unfortunate. And this is still coming at a time when the RMAFC is considering increasing salaries of public office holders. And I ask again, how insensitive can we get as a government? I leave you to answer that question. And that'll be all from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
All right. So much to really talk about and look into in the course of the program for today. We'll take a quick break right now. When we return, we speak to Asia. Stay with us.